All right, in example 5, we're going to be using zeros to write a polynomial function. So it gives us the zeros, and we have to come up with the polynomial. So we're working backwards. So I first have to make sure I'm not missing any of the zeros. So it gives me 3, and it gives me 2 plus square root 5. So I have a irrational number here. So I know that I need its partner. So what else is a 0 of my function? 2 minus square root 5. I need the conjugate pair. Because anytime you have an irrational number, you need the pair. If it has a square root. So anything, if you see a square root, you need the positive of that and the negative. So these are our 3 zeros. To work backwards, we now have to put these in factored form. So we start with x minus whatever your 0 is. So x minus 3. And then I have x minus this 0 here, so minus, and I'm going to put it in parentheses, 2 plus square root 5. And then another x minus 2 minus square root 5. So we are working backwards. We start with our answers, then we put it into the factored form. So it's always x minus the number. Now we are going to have to multiply this out and find our polynomial. So I'm going to start with my conjugate pair. It's going to always be easiest to start with the pair. So first thing I want to do to simplify this is distribute the negative. So I have x minus 2 minus square root 5 and x minus 2 plus square root 5. Now we're going to FOIL. There's actually a shortcut to multiplying this out. I'm going to FOIL it out first and then I'll do the shortcut, and you can just decide which one you like better. So let's FOIL. So I have to make sure everything in my first parentheses gets multiplied to everything in the second. So I have x times x would be x squared minus 2x plus x square root 5. Then I can move on to the negative 2. So negative 2 times x would be minus 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2 would be plus 4. And then negative 2 times square root 5 would be minus 2 square root 5. And then I can move on to the negative square root 5. So that would be negative x square root 5. Plus 2 square root 5. And then what is square root 5 times square root 5? 5, perfect. So that would be minus 5. So this is it FOILed out. Now I want to combine my like terms. So I'm going to start with the x squared. Then I can move on to the 2x's here. So negative 2x minus 2x would be negative 4x. I have an x square root 5 and a negative x square root 5, so those are going to cancel. I have a negative 2 square root 5 and a positive 2 square root 5, so those cancel. And then I just have 4 minus 5, so that would be minus 1 when I combine them together. So now that I FOILed this out, I have to multiply it to the third part here. So x minus 3. Now I'm going to FOIL these. So now I have to multiply it to the third part, which is x minus 3. So make sure everything in the first set gets multiplied to everything in the second, starting with the x. What is x times x squared? X to the third power. What is x times negative 4x? Negative 4x squared. And x times negative 1? Negative x. Then we can move on to the negative 3 times x squared. Perfect. Negative 3 times negative 4x. Positive 12x. And negative 3 times negative 1. Positive 3. And then from here, we want to combine our like terms. So x to the third power. I'm going to combine my x squareds. So it's negative 4x squared minus 3x squared. Negative 7x squared. What's negative x plus 12x? Plus 11x. And then plus 3. So this is my answer. Okay. I'm going to show you the shortcut to multiplying conjugates. So I had x minus 2 plus square root 5 and x minus 2 minus square root 5. So back to the beginning-ish. So this is the shortcut. So we have to distribute the minus. So we get x minus 2 minus square root 5 and x minus 2 plus square root 5. Now these two terms here are actually conjugates. My first term would be x minus 2. And my second term is square root 5. So I have an x minus 2 minus square root 5 and an x minus 2 plus square root 5. So we have a shortcut for multiplying conjugates out. It is we square the first term minus we square the second term. So when I multiply these two out, it'll be x minus 2 squared minus square root 5 squared. So now I'm just foiling out x minus 2. Because if it's x minus 2 squared, we write it twice and foil. So this would be x squared minus 2x plus 4. And what is the square root of 5 squared? What's the square root of 5 squared? It would be the square root of 25, which would be what? So it ends up being 5 because the square root and the squared cancel. So this would just be minus 5. Now when we combine our like terms, we get x squared minus 4x minus 1. All right, looking at number 7. So it says I have the zeros of 4 and 1 minus square root 5. Am I missing any? 1 plus square root 5. I need the conjugate pair. Anytime you have an irrational number, a square root, it needs its partner. So if I have a minus square root 5, I need a plus square root 5. Now we're working backwards, so I need to put this into factored form. So it's always x minus the number. So it'll be x minus 4, x minus 1 minus square root 5, and x minus 1 plus square root 5. Perfect. So I'm going to FOIL these two out. But before I do that, I have to distribute the negative to both things behind it. So So it ends up being x minus 1 plus square root 5 and x minus 1 minus square root 5. Now here I'm going to do the shortcut. So my first term is x minus 1, and my second term is square root 5. So I'm going to do x minus 1 squared minus square root 5 squared. So our formula is always the first one squared minus the second one squared. Always minus in the middle. How do I do x minus 1 squared? Bless you.
Thank you.
How do I do x minus 1 squared? Write it twice and FOIL it out. So x minus 1 times x minus 1. We are FOILing. So this would be x squared minus x plus 1. And what is the square root of 5 squared? 5. The square root and the squared cancel, so it'll just be minus 5. We combine like terms. So I have x squared minus 2x minus 4. So that is the first part FOILed out. All right, so last step is we have to multiply it by the third piece. How would I multiply these together? Perfect. We FOIL it. So we got to make sure the x gets distributed to everything. So that would be x to the third power minus 2x squared minus 4x. And we do the same thing with the negative 4. So negative 4 times x squared would be negative 4x squared. What's negative 4 times negative 2x? So plus 8x. And negative 4 times negative 4? 16. And then what do I do next? Combine like terms. So I start with x cubed. Then I add the x squareds. So minus 6x squared. When I add the x's, plus 4x, and then plus 16. So that is our answer.